You're watching Cobb County's Government Access Channel, TV23.
Hello and welcome to Focal Point. I'm Robert Quigley. Our first guest on set today is Holly Comer, CEO of Cobb's YWCA. Holly, thanks for taking the time to be with us.
Thanks for having me.
In the papers here recently, I've seen all sorts of stuff about activities you guys are involved in, fundraisers, and I thought to myself, the YWCA, I don't know a lot about you. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, our vision, Robert, is to have a community free of domestic violence and sexual assault. So we focus on providing programs and services to victims of domestic violence and sexual assault and their families. We have the only domestic violence shelter in Cobb County with almost 750,000 people, and we're the only organization that partners with law enforcement, the DA's office, and Wellstar Health System to provide services to sexual assault victims in Cobb, Paulding, and Cherokee.
It's a huge effort to try to stamp out domestic violence, sexual assault. Do you have partners? How does this work out? Because I know you were doing something with the district attorney recently.
Well, we were. Pat Head was part of our vigil that we had for Sexual Assault Awareness Month, which was in April. And so we partner with them and also the Victim Witness Unit. So it was also Crime Victims Witness Week, I believe was the same time of sexual assault awareness. So we did partner with them to put that vigil on to bring awareness to sexual assault victims, but crime victims in general as well. So we partner with them, and of course we partner with law enforcement. We now have an advocate over in the Domestic Violence Task Force Unit with the Cobb County Police Department. So her role is to help bridge that gap between law enforcement and then services that we provide to help with safety planning. And are they ready to leave? Do they need to come to the shelter? Do we try to find another place that they can go to? So she's helping to work with law enforcement, be a liaison with them to the victim.
What benefits are there to the organization to have the increased visibility of things such as the vigil?
Well, I think it just brings awareness to the community. I think since I've been there almost 3 years, our biggest challenge has been to kind of change the perception of who we are in the community, because I think everybody knew us as, well, the YWCA, and you had the pool, and I learned how to swim there, and my kids learned how to swim there. Okay, we don't have the pool anymore.
Oh, no.
Here's where our, here's where our focus is, and it's important because 1 in 4 women will be victims of domestic violence in their lifetime, and 1 in 6 women and 1 in 33 men will be victims of sexual assault in their lifetime. So those are huge statistics. And so it impacts our entire community. It impacts the business community. They estimate it's over $5 billion of health care costs, mental health care costs, loss of productivity, days at work for people who are in domestic violence situations or victims of stalking, sexual assault. So it has a broad impact across our entire community.
Tell me a little bit about the shelter operation. How do you do that? And I assume it's something you don't tell everybody where it's at, right?
That's correct, because of confidentiality issues, of course. But the way it normally works is if they're ready to leave, we direct them to go to the Sheriff's Department, and the Sheriff's Department brings them. And that's for a couple of reasons, safety reasons mostly, and then also the confidentiality issues of where the shelter is. So they can stay with us for up to 90 days. And during that time, we're working with them on, kind of where are they emotionally, also financially, where are they going to go after those 90 days are up? Do they need help with a temporary protective order? We have a legal advocate in the court system that helps with temporary protective orders. So how can we help them? We provide counseling for them and their children, because it does really have a huge impact on the children too. And I always say, if we can't protect the mothers, we can't protect the children. And young boys, especially young boys that grow up in a domestic violence situation, are 50 to 60% more likely to become abusers themselves. So part of it is trying to break that cycle. So anything we can do to help them continue to live a violence-free life. The challenge is, on average, they go back 7 times to their abuser.
Really?
And
wow.
so, so our hope is that we're planting seeds to realize they don't have to live in that environment, and sometimes they come back to the shelter, and we do let them come back. We also have transitional housing. We have 12 apartments and 3 houses, so some of the women and children will move into the transitional housing program where they can stay for up to 2 years while they continue to become stable and, as I said, live a violence-free life.
How closely do you all work with, say, the district attorneys, law enforcement, and the courts? I mean, because it seems like there's no one element that can do this by themselves.
Well, they can't. And, you know, we have a great relationship with law enforcement in this community. There's 11 jurisdictions between the city municipalities and, of course, the colleges. And so we have task force both on the domestic violence side and the sexual assault side to help raise awareness, education, and there's usually someone who's assigned to the domestic violence unit in each of those law enforcement areas. So we have a great relationship with them. We couldn't do either of those programs without law enforcement involvement. And then, of course, we do work closely with the district attorney's office and the court system because of the temporary protective orders and et cetera. So nobody can do it by themselves. And so it is a collaborative effort to bring awareness to the community, and that there is a place for the women and children to go or to call. We have a 24-hour hotline that they can call just if they need to talk, because many times they're not ready to leave, but they need to talk and talk to them about counseling. Maybe they just need to come to counseling or come to one of our groups, so that there's other ways to help them besides just coming to the shelter.
How do you staff up your operations? Is it all paid staff? Do you have volunteers? Because it sounds like you got a lot of area to cover.
It's a combination of both. We have paid staff. We probably have about 20 to 22 full-time and part-time staff. Then we also have interns that work in our counseling department and in our program department that are, you know, going to school to become counselors. So we have interns, and then we have lots of volunteers, from groups to individuals that come in to help us, or people that just bring items for the shelter, whether it's diapers and, you know, Pampers and, you know, formula, those kind of things that they need. Because many times the women just come with what they can put in a suitcase. And so we're trying to provide everything that they need while they're there. So it's a community effort. It does make it a little more challenging sometimes because, you know, people want to come in and do a lot of hands-on things with us, and all of our volunteers that are working that closely with our clients have to be background screened and fingerprinted because of the nature of what we're doing. But we do have great volunteers, especially with our sexual assault program, because we're on call 24/7 to go and be there solely for those victims and their families. So it's special, I believe, to come and volunteer with us because of the training you have to go through and all of that to understand the dynamics of those that we're serving.
Now, as far as funding goes, we've got about 2 minutes left. Can you give me some idea about how you get your funding and how folks can help you out?
We get funding predominantly from DHS, which is the Department of Human Services, so that's state and federal money that comes through the state. We're also a United Way agency, so we receive funding from United Way and a grant from Cobb County and some other FEMA and DCA, other federal money. Violence Against Women Act, we receive some money through there as well. And then, of course, no organization can survive without unrestricted dollars, because grants pretty much have to be spent a certain way in order to meet the requirements of the grant. So we have some special events. We do our Tribute to Women in March, where we honor 15 women and select a Woman of the Year. We just had a golf tournament last week. We have a 100+ Women Against Domestic Violence event that'll be in January. And we do a run that we partnered this year with the Atlanta Beat. So all of those things help to raise unrestricted dollars for us. And then, of course, individual donations from individuals and corporate foundations help sustain us as well.
That's excellent. If somebody wants more information on the organization, where do they go? How do they find you?
Well, they can go to our website, YWCANWGA.com, or they can call our crisis line, 770-427-3390, or our main number is 770-427-2909.
Okay, great. Holly, thanks for what you guys do. I mean, it's such an
Thank you.
important mission. We appreciate you getting out there and taking care of all that.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We'll take a break. When we come back, Smyrna Mayor Max Bacon will get us updated on what's happening in the city.
In the event of a car crash, 3 out of 4 kids are not as secure as they should be because their car seats are not used correctly. But the latch system makes it easier to get it right and to hold your kids tight. Anchor, tether, latch. Learn more at safercar.gov.
Real men know that getting tested is the way to take care of their families. That's why real men wear gowns. For a list of the tests you need, go to ahrq.gov.
Hello and welcome back to Focal Point. I'm Robert Quigley. On set with us now is Smyrna Mayor Max Bacon. Mayor, thanks for being with us. A lot of things happening all across Cobb County, but certainly looking at the city of Smyrna, you guys are staying busy. What all have you got going on down there?
Well, we'd rather be a lot busier than we are, but I think we're just with the economic downturn. But we're still busy, and we're seeing a lot of development as far as residential. 3 major commercial projects, which is, of course, Belmont Hills, Jonquil Plaza, and on South Cobb Drive at the Four Corners, there's going to be a new Kroger that's going to be going in there. The Jonquil Plaza one and Belmont Hills have both sort of stopped as far as finances. There's no government money involved in them. But they're just trying to get the financing to build them.
Well, you know, when you ride down Atlanta Road and you come past City Hall there on the right, you got that shopping. What's that shopping area there called?
Market Village.
Market Village. Now, I mean, hands down, I think that's won a lot of awards, right?
Yeah.
I mean, every time I go by it, I can't find a place to park. It's so packed.
Yeah, well, we hit a grand slam on that one, and it took us a while, and a lot of folks were not in favor of that when we first did
Really?
it. Oh, yeah, they thought we had done a white elephant, but it's really been the transformation of our city, the rebirth of our downtown, and plus this had this halo effect in the downtown that's really made everything just a lot better than it was. And people, that's what people wanted. They wanted a place to come eat, take their families to have concerts, to have festivals, and it's really been great for us. And
Well, I think when you show that kind of vision, it does. It pays off big time. And I think probably up until the point that the economy took this punch in the nose, things were really humming along there. And so, yeah, like Belmont Hills, folks have been watching it, you know, for years and years. It took a little while to kind of decline.
At one time, that was the largest shopping center in the Southeast United States. And they used to have the signs out there. And it's like the cycle of life. It had pretty much worn out, and they're in the process of completely redoing it. And then and I don't know, it's not a depression. They say, the people that know what they're talking about say it's not a depression, but
sure tight, ain't it?
in my 30 years of office, I've never seen it completely stop the way that it has. I've seen it slow down, picks back up, slows down, but I've never seen it completely stop. And Jack Halpern and the folks at Belmont Hills have done a great job sort of weathering this storm, but the storm's still going on. Same thing at Jonquil. There's a company out of Lakeland, Florida, along with local ownership and Stephen Daniels. And their financing, they just can't get the financing for it. But all the money that's been spent at Jonquil Plaza and Belmont Hills is both private money. There's no government money in there at all. And it's going to come back gradually.
Oh, sure it will.
And we've got some residential that is picking back up. But it's just going to take time. We have to be patient. We have to do things different. We have to think outside the box. I want to say maybe the chairman of Home Depot said that you should never miss an opportunity to take advantage of a recession, because you really find out what you can do that you didn't think you could do. And hopefully it'll get better.
Now, are you guys seeing, like we are, an increase in demand for city services, mainly things that are free, like the library access, computer access, parks and rec, swimming pools? Y'all picking up on that?
Yeah, we're seeing more and more families that will use our library, which is the only city library in the state of Georgia. We're seeing more and more families that maybe this year they can't afford to go on vacation, so they will use our library. Our numbers are up tremendously. Same thing with the parks. We're seeing more use out of our parks. I think what is so unique about Smyrna, and I think out of the 6 cities, everybody has a different city, although we're sort of the same. Our residents have, I think, been real understanding when we've had to either reduce a service that they understand that we don't have a printing press in the back. We got this much money, and they've been great as far as us cutting back as far as hours on some things. But yeah, we've seen a tremendous increase